Hi, my name is Alex Kraus. So, here's a pretty basic question. What makes a good director? Is it how he moves the camera? How he frames his shots?
Independent poll shows that I'll be elected.
How he uses color? While all of these are really important, one thing that I think a lot of people seem to forget is that the director directs the actors. And this means the blocking, how the actors speak, how they move. And the reason I think people forget this is because it's usually pretty hard to tell where the actor stops and the director begins. Johnny Depp has been playing the same wacky character in his past 5 films, regardless of director. So today, we'll be looking at someone that I consider to be the best actor's director of all time, Woody Allen. So what can we learn from Woody Allen's movies? Well, one thing is that he always frames his actors with plenty of space, which lets them use their entire body when working. So this way, he doesn't lose a single improvised moment from the actor during the take, and they have a lot more freedom to, act. And while close-ups can lead to some really great nuanced performances, it can also lead to some really stagnant ones. He also keeps his frames open, allowing his actors full range of motion during the take. Since they don't have to worry about whether or not they leave frame, it leads to some really energetic and dynamic performances. You want a film to appear real? Have the character walk like the camera isn't even there. And it also helps showcase his greatest talent, his writing. Woody Allen will often have dialogue in scenes without showing the characters actually talking, and it leads to an almost stream of consciousness-like effect. And he talks about anything, from art to philosophy.
2 categories, the horrible would be like, terminal cases, and blind people, cripples. I don't know how they get through life. It's amazing to me, and the miserable is everyone else.
To just jokes.
Don't knock masturbation. It's sex with someone I love.
Where you fall asleep in the middle of a sentence,
And the one thing that I really love about Woody Allen's dialogue is that it isn't plot-centric. It isn't just there to move the story forward. Instead, it's character-centric, which means that it focuses on fleshing out the characters. So you'll have an entire scene dedicated to someone just talking about their family. And this gives the actors a lot more to work with, which leads to some really great performances.
So he's dead. He's dead. Yeah.
And it also results in a much more human-feeling film, much more like a slice of life. He also prefers to shoot his scenes in large wide masters. Along with this being a really economic way to shoot, it also lets his actors work off each other in the scene. There's no room for stand-ins. Even in scenes where actors shouldn't be together geographically, he'll have sets built so they can still work off each other. This results in a much better timed dialogue for the actors.
Do you have sex often?
Hardly ever, maybe 3 times a week.
Constantly. I'd say 3 times a week. Like the other
So
night,
when he
Albie
does
was
cut in,
having sex.
he makes sure
The
it
other
counts,
night,
I would
either
like
for the
to take
sake of a
serious
joke
photography course.
Photography's interesting because, it's a new art form and a set
or
of
during a
aesthetic
scene of
criteria
contention.
not emerged yet.
Well, don't you love me?
The truth is that I love somebody else.
Just because he doesn't cut doesn't mean he doesn't know how. And this way, each cut feels a lot more weighted, after all.
They know you can do anything, so the question is, what don't you do? Not what do you do?
And the older Woody Allen gets, the more bold his camera moves become. Like this scene in Midnight in Paris, where it goes from an establishing shot to a master to 2 different close-ups. all in one take. Much different than his simple shots for cheap gags that he did in the beginning of his career.
Well, at least he's Jewish.
Finally, there's a lot of shots of people walking down streets and talking in Woody Allen
Wagner,
films.
so I know what he's really trying to tell me.
And I met a woman there.